Okay. Okay, we have about 16 people here. Should we wait a little bit more and go ahead and get started?
I think Jasmine had a class that had a group of students.
Jasmine's here. Jasmine?
Yeah, that's right. I'm joining with my 41 and 35, or Cody's 35, and a handful of people had to leave, but they said that we're going to be joining on their own.
Okay. All right. Hey, Laura, it says that I don't have access to play some of these videos.
Oh, here,
I just requested access, so you might want to check your email.
All right, I'll set that up. Thank you.
Yeah. Okay, let's go ahead and get started. Welcome everyone to this meeting. Thank you for joining us. We're glad to see you here because it means that you're interested in the BFA, and that makes us very happy. This is a meeting to go over basically the BFA application process. It's a chance for you to ask questions about it, to ask questions about the different tracks. We'll be presenting some of the material from those tracks to you. Yeah, it's a general information meeting. So we'll go ahead and get started. Can you see my screen?
Yes.
Great. There's someone in, yes, okay, great. Okay, welcome to the BFA design track. It's a BFA in graphic design. That will be your official degree. In order to apply for this, it's required that you have completed all of your lower division graphic design courses. So that would be GD 35, 37, 39, 41, 42, 50, and 60. So this is a layout of, the recommended sequence to take the courses. You may have taken them in a different sequence. It is okay if you haven't completed a course, as long as you are enrolled in it right now. So either completed or enrolled in the course. Let's talk about the different tracks, and then we'll go over the application process. So we have 3 different tracks for you to choose from. We have graphic design, illustration, and interactive interaction multimedia. This is the degree you will be receiving. It's a Bachelor of Fine Art in Graphic Design. It's different from a Bachelor of Arts. It's more of a high-level professional degree, specifically in fine art. Here's a link to the application page. Actually, I will right now paste a link to that webpage in the chat. And Virginia just pasted a link to the roadmap. Thank you. So here's the link to the application page. You might want to bookmark that for future reference. Okay, what you'll be doing is, actually, let me jump over to that page and we'll go through the application process before we go through the different tracks. Okay, so I just went over the eligibility, all the different classes you need to have been taking. You also must have received a letter grade of at least a C in the courses. A D is not a passing grade. It does not allow you to move on and take the next level classes. So you need to receive at least a C. For this, you'll be creating a digital portfolio, and you'll be submitting examples of work from the following classes: 35, 37, 39, 41. 41 is the minimum of 2 examples from that course. 42, again, 2 examples. 50 and 60, 2 examples from GD 60 as well. This will be in the form of a multi-page PDF. There is a very simple InDesign template. If you click on here on the page, you can download a very simple template to get you started. These are just screenshots of your work. We're not going to be printing these out, so we don't need them in a high resolution. So please don't upload a 100 megabyte file. That's a little bulky for us. So try to just keep it to a lower resolution. It also says here, illustration track applicants must submit a minimum of 4 illustrations or art samples in addition to the projects listed below. So this could be things that you did in other art classes, I believe. Martine, let me know if I'm wrong, or something you did on the side, or something you did in high school, or something like that. If you're submitting an example of a website or a video, please submit a screenshot of that project as well as a link to the website or the video, such as a YouTube or Vimeo link. We would also like you to include descriptions of the work. So every piece in the portfolio on that page, you should have written something about what the piece was created for. So which class, a class or independent project, what was the purpose of the assignment or project, and what was the medium or application it was created in. So either traditional media, Illustrator, Photoshop, something like that. We would also like you to write an application letter. So just a 1-page letter describing your achievements, interests, personal point of view, and goals, and the emphasis of what you want. So talk a little bit about which track you like to be in and why. And make sure you include your name and date. And this will be the first page of your portfolio PDF. You will also need to provide a copy of your unofficial transcripts It'll be a PDF. It's very easy to get. There's a link right here on this application webpage where you can download it from the university site. And on this page, you can read about, what are the criteria that we're looking for. We're looking to see that you have promise in your development in graphic design, illustration, or interactive multimedia. If you have focus and commitment beyond the course requirements. We basically want to make sure that you're ready for the next level of instruction. You can see here it says that we're looking for understanding of design and aesthetics. We're looking for visual problem solving, including creativity, imaginative thinking, range and variety of ideas, and development of concept. We are looking for awareness of cultural and historical trends, influences, and issues. And we are also taking a look at your skills, including craft and hand skills, technical skills with tools, programs, software, materials, observation, quality of execution, and presentation. So keep that in mind as you're, reviewing your past work and choosing the pieces that you would like to see. If you are selected, you will be notified by email a few days after the application deadline. And we will notify you at the email address provided on your application. After that, you will need to have advising sessions. It'll be a group advising session with the advisor for your track. Your new advisor will be a faculty member in that track. And you'll also receive permission codes for the courses that you'll be taking and starting in the fall. If you are not selected, or if you choose not to apply for the BFA, you will be changing your major to the BA in integrated design. And there's a link here so that you can go on there and see the courses included in that degree. And then at the end of this page, there's a link to submit your application. I should also say part of that application is choosing the track that you want. There's also an opportunity to choose your second choice for track. So if you are debating between two tracks, you might want to put one first and then the other one second. You do not have to choose a second if you don't want to. It's just an option. Okay, let's go back to these slides here. So that's the application process: PDF, portfolio, cover letter, and fill out the application form. So let's talk about the different tracks and introduce you to those. For the graphic design track, Virginia or Jasmine, would you like to introduce this?
Sure, I can. And Jasmine, if you want to add anything, you can. Hi, everyone. I'm Virginia Patterson. I teach in the graphic design track and also in the lower division. The graphic design track is, you could maybe call it more traditional in nature. You will have packaging design, advertising design, typography design, graphic systems. So we deal with kind of wayfinding. So we do some digital work in terms of interface design, but not the interactive work that you might experience or look for in the interactive multimedia track. A lot of students who are going through this track are probably interested in working for small design agencies, large advertising agencies, perhaps eventually doing freelance or consulting work. So you get a range of exposure to designing for different media, but not as much of a focus on illustration or interactive multimedia. You do some animation through Jasmine's typographic design classes. And I'm just trying to think if I'm leaving anything else out. Jasmine, anything to add?
Not so much, but the examples you just saw are the typefaces that students have created. There was the logo reveal. This is another logo reveal. So those are projects that you would have in my class. I try to keep them short and sweet in terms of don't feel overwhelmed by the animations that is happening, but it is worthwhile learning some of these programs.
Yeah, and there's a couple more examples. You'll develop campaign systems, do a lot of identity development. So I think students in this track end up with sort of a comprehensive portfolio that demonstrates that you'll be a successful designer kind of in any graphic design or marketing studio. And Jasmine and I are both happy to answer questions about this track. And we do encourage students, if you have room in your schedule and approval by the other instructors, to take courses in the other tracks if maybe you have an interest in illustration or an interest in interactive multimedia.
Great, thank you. Martín, do you want to talk about the illustration track?
Yes, mi nombre es Martín Valencia. What, my Spanish class or not? No, this is not my Spanish class. So everybody here? I don't hear anybody. All right, so it looks like
my
we're
noise
awake now.
machine at home.
Here.
Yes. Hi, my name is Martín Valencia. I've been around for around 20 years in the program. I'm glad to see new faculty faces here and new students faces as well. So welcome. Moving on to the illustration track. Basically, the illustration track deals with visual literacy, right? How do you take your style and technique, create a unique style, using the traditional tools or digital tools, and create a style or technique that you can propose as part of your portfolio and be unique enough that you can become an illustrator / game designer / game board designer / there's so many slashes nowadays and when it comes to illustration, right? So all depends what direction you want to take. So we don't have a formal say direction that you can take. It's pretty wide open. We have students do character development. We have students do concept art. We have students do backgrounds. We have students do commercial illustration from basic illustrating for packaging, illustrating for magazine covers, illustrating for poster design. So we run the gamut. At the end of the road is your portfolio and what direction you want to create your style and technique. Here are some examples that we do in the commercial side. Previously, you saw some examples of character development and concept art. Here's a couple more. The one on the left is was a short story. So some students focus on children's books to youth and adult literature as well. So there's that. Thank you.
Great. I didn't introduce myself. My name is Rusty Robinson, and I teach in the interactive multimedia track. So I'll be happy to go ahead and talk about that right now. The interactive multimedia track it's very technologically focused, of course. It kind of comes at your education in two directions. First, we want to give you the skills you'll need to go out and get a job in the industry. So you'll be learning advanced web design, you'll be learning a little bit of programming. It's not scary. We use a language that's made especially for artists and designers, so it's very visual. You'll be learning some motion graphics, and we also you'll be learning user experience design, which is very there's a lot of jobs in that right now. It's a very popular field. And then you'll also be learning things that are more future forward driven, things that are coming down the pipe, such as augmented reality and virtual reality, sort of very immersive systems. So you'll have real world skills, as well as you'll develop a sense of exploration of future media that will be a part of your life in the future. Let's see if these videos play. Here's a list of the classes you'll be taking. User experience design is also called UX. And so those are the classes. And here's some demo reels that students have created of their projects. I'm going to move on because this one's about 14 minutes and we have other examples.
Yeah, it just has their first demo reel and then it launches into the longer ones after that. But there's other demo reels.
Okay, got it.
So
Others-
all of those demo reels that you just watched, those were all demo reels done by seniors that had projects from different classes from the whole track. And then there's some more videos here that are class specific. There are demo reels that show work that was just done in that specific class. So we can watch some of those if you want, but we don't have to.
Let's watch this one. I wonder what happened there. Okay.
And this GD 142 class is actually a requirement for the illustration track and the graphic design track, but it can be taken by interactive multimedia students as well. Some of the same content is covered in GD 155, but they're completely different projects. So I've had a lot of interaction students go ahead and also take 142 as an elective. This is just a little bit about
The class focuses on
42.
user experience design methods and practices to improve the usability and aesthetics of a user interface. Students will use user experience methods to engineer the whole experience surrounding a digital environment, emphasizing how data-driven research can improve the layout, hierarchy, typography, and color scheme of a user interface.
So GD 159 starts with augmented reality, but we also work with virtual reality as well. We work with 3D models because those go into augmented and virtual reality. There's some 3D scanning, photogrammetry that we work with. And in the motion graphics class, we primarily use After Effects for motion graphics. But we do a little web animation as well. And this GD 155, this is a class where you're learning all the user experience and user interface design. But the projects are on a larger scale instead of focusing on screen devices like phones and smartwatches. Just looking at larger systems of interface design. And then like a phone app might be a companion app to that larger system. This was an example of interface design using 3D modeling, using augmented reality, and creating a prototype and mock-up for that idea.
Okay, at the end of your educational career here, in your last semester, there is the end of the semester, there's a BFA portfolio show, and it's in the Conley Gallery. It's kind of like an expo where every student has space in the gallery to showcase their work, to showcase their own branding. And it's a big event. It's attended by a lot of people. And you have a whole semester to develop your portfolio. There's a whole class just in portfolio development. There's a class in professional practices. So you are well prepared for this event. And here, this is a poster from last year's portfolio show. The website. Here's some video.
So at your BFA show, each person has their own board. They're about 4 feet by 8 feet, and you can design your board however you want. And there's usually a shelf or an area where you can prop up your portfolio. A lot of people also have displays with an iPad or a monitor to run digital content as well. But everyone gets their own space to show off their work.
And people from the industry attend this. Some students make contacts and actually walk away with potential jobs from the event. I don't know if, do we have time to watch all of these? There's a lot of them. Let's see this one.
You don't necessarily have to watch all of them. There's examples from previous shows.
Yeah, there's a lot of examples.
This is an example of the virtual gallery space from last year. And this is 2021's show, their website.
During the pandemic, we couldn't, of course, have an actual show in the gallery. So we set up a virtual reality gallery and actually had the opening ceremony as well. And it was really well attended, and it's a great, and so we've been doing it for the previous shows as well.
Yeah, so this utilizes a social VR, so multiple people can actually be in there and interact and can make your own avatar. And these galleries are still live. So we can give the links to these. Let me see if I can get those in the chat. So you can take a look at the work from previous years.
As you can see, a lot of people come to this event. It's really exciting. So yeah, so that's all the slides we have. Here we have a list of our faculty. There's 5 of us: Rusty, Martine, Jasmine, Virginia, and Laura, who you've heard from most all of them today. You're welcome to reach out to any of us if you have any questions about the program or putting your portfolio together or which track you're interested in. We're always happy to talk with you. Does anyone have any questions at all about the process, about the tracks, about anything?
Before we take questions, can I kind of make an announcement about the graphic design club and the workshops that they will be having?
Of course.
So I'm putting them in chat right now. 296. So they will be this upcoming Monday, February 27th and March 13th. This is when they hold their meetings. And instead of holding a regular meeting, they're going to have a workshop that discusses, or students in the junior and senior years talk about their portfolios, the process they went through, any tips and tricks, how to download your transcript, unofficial transcript, all of that. So if you're interested in that, they'll be facilitating 2 of those sessions both on Mondays, February 27th, March 13th. Those will both be before, of course, the deadline, 12 to 1 at IT 296. And I can write those for those that are joining us here on the board in a second.
Great. Alberto has a question about if you don't get into a track, are you able to apply later in the year? The application process is once a year and only in the spring. So if you don't apply or you don't get in, you're welcome to apply again next year. Any other questions?
Can I add one thing to that, Rusty?
Yeah.
You are able to identify a second selection in terms of tracks. So if maybe you don't get into your first choice, but the reviewers think you might be a good candidate for your second choice, it's possible you'll be placed into that track. And that will be also a you won't be obliged to accept that. We'll make that recommendation and allow you to choose.
Luis is asking if you can apply to multiple tracks. You do need to choose your first and second choice.
Once you're in, a specific track, you can still take classes from another track if there are openings. You're guaranteed a spot in your track classes. And then if there's openings in other classes, you can still take those as electives.
Is there a limit to how many people get into each track? Yes, there is. I believe it's 20. Is that correct?
Yeah, that's our maximum.
Yeah, 20 students. Any other questions? Okay. Well, like I said, please reach out to us if you have any other questions. And there's a link up at the beginning of the chat to the application page. The link was also in the emails that I sent out announcing this meeting, and that's where you're going to go to submit your application.
Really quick on the form itself. You may not know who your advisor is. You technically don't have one yet. Just select whoever of us, you can see that on the screen there, that pertains to the track. So myself and Virginia would be the graphic design track, Laura and Rusty would be the multimedia track, and then Martin would be your advisor for the illustration track.
Thanks. Anything else to add, professors?
Nope.
Just
We're-
happy to answer any questions.
Yeah, likewise, we're here to support you through the process. And like Jasmine mentioned, the club is a really good resource for talking to peers about the process. And yeah, we're available for any questions. So
And we're excited to see all your portfolios and see the work that you've done. And you've come a long way so far. Okay, I think that about wraps this up.
All right. Thank you, Rusty.
all right, thanks, Rusty. Thanks, Laura.
Thanks
Thank
everyone
you.
for coming.
Hey, thank you.